The pressure people like Johnnie can give you.
No.
You don't get grey hair, you go get grey hair.
I'm innocent.
And that's what I'm saying. That the pressure Johnnie and his people, the pressure they can give you don't get grey hair, you go get. So your best bet is not to have hair.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You will anoint my head with oil, my cup will overflow. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's Tuesday, the day after the day of love, where the goddess of love, Aphrodite, came down. People chopped love in many different ways. Today is Tuesday. We're back to serious work. And I just like to say that journalism is not a crime, and no amount of intimidation will win any day. We have seen worse in the past in the Inky fraternity. The days of, forgive me if you're having breakfast, shit bombing, the days of incarcerating people, the days of beating people, the days of people getting missing and all of that. We've seen worse. But those were not during democratic dispensations. So it is troubling to find that happening in democratic dispensations. And I am not endorsing wrongdoing. But I'm saying that where there is no, if you like, proper explanation of what is wrong, then there's a problem. Then you can clearly see the ploy and can clearly see what is happening. Because a medical report from the Efia Kwanta Regional Hospital in the Western region is indicating that the right eardrum of my colleague, journalist and producer of the Omamba Morning Show program on Connect FM 97.1, severely assaulted by police, has been perforated. Nana Jetia was assaulted at a chop bar called God is Love by some men in plainclothes uniforms purported to be police officers. They subjected him to severe beatings. He was handcuffed and he was dumped at the bucket of a pickup charged at the headquarters of the Western Regional Police Command. It's later granted police inquiry bail. Since then, we've been told that IGP has asked that the issue be transferred to Accra. We're told that PIPs had gotten involved and the rest, but we have not been told who has been held accountable. Now, this young man here, his eardrums are perforated. This was what he looked then, Nana Jetia, and this is what he looks now, after he's been beaten by policemen. What was his crime? His crime was that he was filming the police doing their job. Now, if you're doing a good job, like last Thursday, we were on the demonstration. The NDC Youth Wing, the guys from the University of Ghana, other CSOs, and all of that, they were there. The police were there. We filmed the police. They didn't beat us because they were doing something that was right. The only time people get angry when you film them is when they are doing what is not right. And there have been allegations upon allegations upon allegations. And IGP Dampare, good morning to you. Since you got in here, there's been some positive public image about the police. The police is your friend. You are my friend. I won't teach you your job. I won't compel you. I cannot. I won't order you about. But because you are my friend, IGP Dampare and the police administration, I'll say good morning to you. It's good to say good morning to your friend. So I'm just saying good morning to you. And just to remind you that nobody has been held accountable. Just to say that nobody has been held accountable for this particular one. And just to say that it is going on too many, one too many. And I'm surprised that it is particularly happening under the watch of a human rights lawyer. You know, when Dr. Charles Reku Probe wanted to open his radio station, or Radio Eye, that's what it was called, and then he said he had made the argument that you don't need a license to operate a radio station, and he was put before the courts. Guess who his lawyer was? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who today is president, under whose watch radio stations were closed down. The same man who had led another man to go to court to say you don't need a license to operate a radio station was under his watch watching, and radio stations were being shut down for non-renewal of their licenses. So we know of the Jerry Rawlings principle. The Jerry Rawlings principle, where back in the day, like Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. had said, because he lived through that time. I was a schoolboy in primary school at the time. He lived through that time, and he says that back in the day, under Jerry Rawlings, Chairman Rawlings, and then later President Rawlings, if you said something that was unpalatable about Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, his wife, the former First Lady, some people call her she who must be obeyed, you will be picked up. The likes of Kweku Baku Jr. and Ambassador, Harun Atta, you will be picked up and dealt with. If you said something that was not palatable about Jerry Rawlings himself, or you said something that was not palatable about the regime, then you will be picked up. The criminal libel law was there. Sometimes you were not even giving a hearing. The likes of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo complained about it. They spoke vehemently about it. They said it was wrong. That was the Jerry Rawlings principle. We know of the Anas principle, where they investigate corruption and they give out the details, and people are supposed to be punished for whatever wrong they have done. We know of the Manasseh Azuri principle. What is the Akufo-Addo principle in this time? What is the Akufo-Addo principle in this time regarding the assault of journalists, for example? Because incidentally, back in the day, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings was the First Lady. Jerry Rawlings was the President. And when any journalist was picked up, they spoke about it. President Akufo-Addo spoke about it. He was not president at the time, private legal practitioner, later MP, and human rights lawyer, everything else. Today, the coin has flipped. He is president, and Rebecca Akufo-Addo is First Lady. I'm not getting into the merits of the matter, but the brief that we have from the police suggests that Bobie Ansa, who today has been granted bail, has been picked up, said something that was unpalatable about the First Lady and the wife of the Vice President. And learn this today, there's nothing like Second Lady in our books. It's the First Lady and the wife of the Vice President. So learn it today. Don't let them throw dust into your eyes. There's nothing like Second Lady. If there is any protocol officer, let them come and challenge me. There's First Lady and the wife of the Vice President. So he had said something about the First Lady and the wife of the Vice President. He was picked up. That's him. He was picked up in a Rambo style. Now, if I, for example, say Mr. Peter Duncan is a thief, what is the job of the police in coming to pick me up that I said Peter Duncan is a thief? We have heard people threaten to burn people and burn their houses. We have heard people insult people in public, in open court. We have heard people say worse things. The same police administration who wants us to trust them, they kept quiet. People have said worse things. They say he published false news. So when Dr. Baumia said, I've arrested the dollar and given the key to IGP Apieto, and later found out that it was wrong, was he picked up? Was he arrested? Or because he's vice president and is the head of the police, management team or police council, so he could not be arrested? When now Iyoko boss, who was former CID boss, who later became boss of the welfare department of the Ghana Police Service, Mamitiwa Adodakwa, when she said that we know where the Takrady girls are and we ask you to keep on keeping on, and very soon we'll reunite them with their families, and we later found out that those were blatant lies that were told, was she picked up? Worse things have been said. I can give you a plethora of them. The same police institution up anybody. And that's why I'm saying, if I say Peter Duncan is a thief, what is the job of the police? Peter Duncan can go to the court and file a suit against me, and the court will give me time to come and tell them why I said he's a thief. This whole thing of publishing fake news. Now, who publishes fake news in this country than politicians who summon press conferences and lie to us all through? Who does that? How many politicians are picked up? By all means, I don't condone wrong things. And you see, even the police, in doing their job, they sometimes get it wrong. And that is why they apologize. We saw the dastardly shooting and killing in Lamshegu. All we could do was we have interdicted them. Very soon they will be brought back. End of story. People have been killed for free. Soldiers do it. They say, we have kept them in the guard room. Recently, somebody was shooting a gun at ANC Mall. You forgotten? ANC Mall, he shot guns. They said he's in a guard room. That's it. If Johnnie Hughes picks a gun and shoots it, they'll say I'm disturbing public peace. They'll pick me up and take me to court. Charge me. So the plan now is that you arrest them, and then you take them in, you detain them, and then you go take them to court, maybe grant them bail, or if you like, put them on remand. Is that the plan? Is that the Akufo-Addo principle? I'm asking, is that the Akufo-Addo principle? We know the Jerry Rawlings principle. We know the Anas principle. We know the Manasseh principle. Mr. President, this morning I'm asking you, wherever you are traveling around in a higher jet for 10 days at the cost of the taxpayer, I'm asking you, where is the Akufo-Addo principle? We say we repeal the criminal libel law. We repeal the criminal libel law. Show Nana Jetche's photo again. Show his photo again. Because you see, if we don't talk about it, people will continue. And I say, some of us, when we completed our university education, if we had also applied to join the officer corps, show the Connect FM journalist photo again. That's Bobby answer, by the way. If we had also decided to join the officer corps, either of the police or the military or prisons or fire service, whatever it is, by now we would have climbed up. Would have climbed up. I've done almost 15 years on this job. Would have climbed up. I would have been a captain or something. Because we are professionals, we are qualified, we are strong, we don't have medical conditions, we are fit, we'll pass all the exam. But we chose to do this work. And then there's some form of intimidation that is coming at the press because you seem not to have a certain harmonious voice with what government is singing. For example, we are now being told that if you don't pay e-levy, you have MPs sadly going around telling people that if you don't pay e-levy or you don't approve or accept the e-levy, free SHS, for example, will not happen. You are telling that those untruths, blatant, pure white lies to market women. Why do we do this to ourselves? When you know that the free SHS is funded with oil funds and also partly by the ABFA, we know. You have mismanaged everything. Now you are telling lies to win trust. Who does that? You want to win my trust and already you are telling lies. How do you do that? And you are blackmailing the people. And telling them that if they approve of the e-levy, their roads will be fixed. If they approve of the e-levy, their children will go to school. If they approve of the e-levy, everything will be solved because e-levy. E-levy has now become like some cocoa medicine that they sell on the Kaneshi, Accra, Trotros that with the Awoyomo buses. What kind of white lie is that? See, my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has been doing this, and we'll stay on education this week. So my first question is, Mr. President, where is the Akufo-Addo principle? Jerry Rawlings was president. His wife, Nana Konadu-Agyemang Rawlings, was first lady. If you said something about her, you'll be picked up and dealt with. Coins are flipped. You complained about it. You are president. Rebecca Akufo-Addo is first lady. Something was said about it. Somebody has been picked up. Question I'm asking, where is the principle? And IGP, I'm saying good morning to you. The image you go around with your media team, streaming and making sure everybody comes to like the police and appreciate it. We appreciate it. I saluted you here many times. In fact, when the trotro drivers went on strike, you even gave buses for people to be commuted. I saluted you as that. When you do good, we'll salute you. But on this particular occasion, we want you to bring people to book. Let them know that now security and intelligence is all about having macho and walking around in a buffy way. The sad part is that most of them don't even go to proper gyms. They wait for the corn mill machines or nika to get broken down. They go and collect the parts and they mass them up and say they are gymming. So you see the person is coming, he's a macho and bole, but one side is like that and he's walking like that. You can't even afford proper gyms. And you go around beating any and everybody. It doesn't speak well of the institution. You say the police is your friend. Now, let's go to free SHS. The whole talk about free SHS now seems to be just focusing on the test score. Who passed, who didn't pass, how many people entered and all of that. There have been reports of the shortage of food in our SHS system. Shortage of food. The children are drinking Cocoa Sakura. We are pretending not to be aware. So now the minister says that new measures will be adopted to address perennial shortage of food supplied in various senior high schools. And these have become necessary because there have been recent concerns of food shortage in some schools. a week after reopening. Well, Mr. Minister, if you didn't know, this happened last term as well. The children were drinking cocoa sakura, cocoa without bread. Check. It happened last term as well, where, for example, a school has just rice, just rice. So in the morning they'll eat rice porridge, in the afternoon they'll eat rice and stew, in the evening they'll eat jollof or rice with something else. It's there. The reality is there. The parents have been complaining. Thank God you have woken up to the coffee this morning. But so when we talk about free SHS, and I insist it's a good policy, ways of going the same direction and be saying that, oh, it's a good policy, but it is the implementation that has a problem and we'll have to take time. For how long will we continue to mess our children up when we know that nutrition has a part to play in forming up the minds of the young people and even the pedagogical approach? If you are hungry, you can't learn. So Alhaji Charles, Alhaji Yakubu Abubakar is the president of Charles. We call him Alhaji Charles. He had occasion to talk about food shortage. The minister gave him a response. But you see, that response is not satisfactory enough. Play those two videos for me quickly.
We mentioned the other important issues, which were especially furniture. Some schools cannot even receive Form 1s if they are not supplied with furniture before the Form 1s come to school. We've made them aware of that. Beds in the various dormitories are also in short supply. We've drawn their attention to that. Then benches and tables.
At senior high schools, Charles says heads are fighting for food instead of concentrating on academic work.
School reopened, it is a week now, and we have received some amount of food in our schools, but not the full complement, of course. Ideally, we should have received those things before school reopened, but given some challenges here and there, it has delayed. But we have started receiving it. We are praying and hoping that the suggestions we make to authorities will be heeded to. We've already made them aware that we need to sit and do proper planning and ensure that some of these things go to the schools before school reopen. That way you can do a better management of your school. Or else for now you will find a lot of heads engaged in the issues of food, when heads should rather concentrate to see how they can get quality outcomes as far as education is concerned at our school levels. So we are hoping that the authorities will listen to us, and moving forward it wouldn't happen this way again. Before the schools reopen, food are brought to the school, monies are brought to the school, then we can take off very smoothly.
But after engaging with headmasters in all senior high schools across the country, the Education Ministry intends adopting new ways to address this concern.
And we set up a system that will enable us to track the food distribution. One thing that is going to be done this year is that we are now going to give them the list of all the food items that they should be receiving. So if the items are not in, they will be able to know that we're supposed to get 1,000 bags of rice, we have this amount, and therefore the buffer stock should be giving us the remainder, and then we can all work together on it. So that's a new way of doing business in terms of food supply in our schools. So that is one area where we've come to a very good agreement as to how to move things in the coming year.
Food is a basic necessity of life. If you ask Abraham Maslow, 1943, he will tell you food, clothing, and shelter, basic. So how is it that children go to school and the food is not there? Because that is what we all agreed. And you see, back in the day, PTAs could support food, furniture, and many other things. Sometimes even fuel for buses. We all went to secondary school in this country. Or maybe the president didn't. Or, well, he did Kimbu Secondary School. I don't know about our Minister for Education. I don't know. But I'm just saying that we all went to secondary school in this country. What has changed? Why are we so obsessed with making it look as if we are taking care of everything? I say, I take care of some free SHS people. The amount of money I spend, aside the 1,300 that government gives as part of their support for free SHS, is more than what government gives. When they have to pick a taxi from here to Cape Coast and back, for example, last year, they resumed school. They took a 300 Ghana cedis taxi from here. They went all the way to Cape Coast, only to be told that the reopening has been postponed and they have to go back and come back on the 5th of May. Then he put a letter up for me. Cassandra Chum signed that letter. And you see, it's been one clear year. This is the letter. 6th April. Clear letter. This is it. I didn't manufacture this. It's a postponement of reopening date for SHS3 student. Management announces for the information of students, staff, and the general public that the reopening of Form 3 students has been postponed to 5th May 2021. This is to give the Form 3 students an uninterrupted instructional period till they write their final exams. Well, this also did not happen because 2 weeks after they returned to school, they were asked to come back again. You remember they had reopened and then they shut them down. They came for Christmas holidays. They told them to go back and they said so they will not have interrupted period. They can get all their 1,080 hours. Then they went to school 2 weeks after they were back. Why? Food and furniture. And I'll play for you. Play the video of Alhaji Charles for me. The recent video that Ibrahim Abubakar did. Play that video for me. 1 year on, he's complaining about the same set of things that he complained about. And we only do meetings and we call the head teachers to meetings, but they can't speak because they are in a regimented space and we pretend not to know. But the biggest sufferers will be the children. When we attended secondary school, and I'm sure when those in power and their spokespersons attended secondary school, this was not the messy way in which we took our children through. Now you don't even know if they are doing 3 years or they are doing 1.5 or they are doing 2 years. Because the boy I take care of, he went to school for 1 term, came home for the whole of 2020, went back to school in 2021, did 2 terms, came back. Then he went on to Form 3. We have been told that he will write his exam sometime in June, July, maybe August. He has not done 3 years. He has not done 3 terms, but we are told that he is ready to write his exam. In whose Ghana? Akufo-Addo's Ghana, Nkrumah's Ghana, Mills's Ghana, Mohammed's Ghana, Kufuor's Ghana. Play the video for me.
The emergency projects, we have had classrooms and then dormitories provided us by the government, but the furniture and the beds that we need for those facilities have not been provided yet for many schools. And so we drew management attention that though these structures are there, but we need these things for them to be functional. And as a result, if you allow all the students to come, they will come and share the little that are there, and it will not order well for us, especially in this our period of COVID-19. And so suggested that there should be some arrangement where either the Form 3s will be made to stay home a bit, or portion of the Form 1 should not report today. And I think finally management has agreed that the Form 3 should rather stay home a bit, so that within the 1 month time that we have, they will see how best the issue of the furniture and the beds could be addressed.
The rescheduling of reporting date will affect the registration process of the Form 3 students for the WAEC examination.
What I can now foresee is that management may have to talk with.
This was Alhaji Charles on the 6th of April 2021. He diagnosed the problems. 6th of April. Furniture, beds. 2 simple things. Play the new video that Ibrahim did yesterday with Alhaji Charles on the same issues and tell me if anything has changed. We voted for change, by the way. Play that for me. The new video of Alhaji Charles.
Furniture before the Form 1s come to school. We've made them aware of that. Beds in the various dormitories are also in short supply. We've drawn their attention to that. Then benches and tables at the dining hall. You know, previously parents were helping us to get these things all, but with the inception of the free HSS, it is now the burden on government to provide all these. So we've made them aware that they should ensure that we get this, or else the Form 1s may come to school and they will not have furniture to sit in the classrooms. They will be in the dormitories and will not have bed to sleep on. And we don't like such a thing to happen.
1 cool year, no change, no show. 1 year. Kasankwa na odiwano don right be wo. Dr. Duchum, good morning to you. 1 year on, we all celebrated you when they said you were going to be our Minister for Education. We thought we had a dentist as your boss and he was perhaps not performing. So we were happy for you because you had run a private school before. You own one. This is the situation of our educational system under your watch. The children don't know where they are going to school. So the boy I was taking care of, I told him when they are reopening, he asked me, when are we vacating? Because that calendar must be there. I said, I don't know. So now it's become a situation where they call you and say, oh, we are going to school. You're on the WhatsApp group. Oh, the children are vacating tomorrow. The children are going back to school. What is all this? What is all this? Common furniture, common bed, we can't provide. Common textbook, we can't provide for the children. If you can't provide these things, what can you do? And then you come touting, oh, when we sat for the WASI, this number of children had. Well, but test score alone is not education. I'm sure you know better than I do. Test score alone, passing and getting 8 A's, 7 A's, 6 A's, whatever it is A's that you get, is not education. Because there are people who are first class who do not even remember what it is that they learned in school. I'm sure we can do better. I am very, very sure we can do better, because right now the situation of parents are this. These are the parents' salary, and they are sitting behind the expenditure, and they are going through this mess. Some of them have to take food to their children week on week, and we pretend as if we don't know what's happening. Let's open our eyes. Good morning.
I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Hey,
Why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know Papa, what you used to fan charcoal. You've seen it,
right?
When you fan it, then the charcoal goes bright red.
This is a call for accountability.
You fan government's charcoal to it's bright red.
It's a call for accountability.
I enjoy it. This is our society,
right?
And it will take me and you. That's why I always watch Johnnie's Bite.
The general watches Johnnie's Bite
every day.
Thank you very much.
And I is devoid of insults, but straight to the point.